Traitor speaks like the wisdom of man who sits on the throne. But the fear of the Lord is where real knowledge grows. Proverbs 1:7 shown. You trust scholars and forget the God who breathed their bones. You quote mortals like the Almighty never spoke. But I do not run and I am not fool, no joke. You trust man over God, that was your first mistake. You quote skeptics like they hold truth you can't break. But the scholars you praise contradict every take. You build castles out of comments and call that faith you make. You say scripture has errors, but can't name 5. You trust memes over manuscripts and call that wise. You mock spirit-led people, but keep closed eyes. Debate believers, but truth never enters your life. Jesus said, turn like children or you won't enter in. Matthew 18:3, Mark 10:15. Within, children trust, children lean, they don't pretend. But you lean on your own wisdom and call that depth again. You shake it arguments built on sand. I shake dust from my feet as Christ planned. Matthew 10:14 still stands. You call the cross foolish, Paul said you wouldn't understand. 1 Corinthians 1:18 checks your pride. You stir fights but flee from truth inside. Psalm 14:1 says fools deny God while blind. Proverbs 26:4 shows why I don't reply. You kind. You argue with the heat, but your heart stays cold. Isaiah 29:13 already told. Your lips sound near, but your heart won't fold. Matthew 15:8, Mark 7:6 unfold. I don't run, but I ain't no fool. I don't bow to the wise in their own eyes, that's the rule. I won't trade scripture for whatever scholar you choose. You trust men, I trust the one who breathed dust into men and gave truth its roots. I don't run, but I ain't no fool. God sealed me with his spirit, Ephesians 1:13 proves. You chase knowledge without wisdom and call it proof. But the fear of the Lord is the root of truth. Proverbs 1:7 move. You think noise is truth, but noise isn't conviction. Acts 19:23 shows riots rise when light hits fiction. You brag debates, but live contradiction. 1 Corinthians 1:10 calls unity, not division. You say knowledge grows by grind, but truth is taught by the Spirit. John 16:13 reminds, wisdom without God is counterfeit in design. Bad company corrupts. 1 Corinthians 15:33 speaks. You walk with fools and their madness leaks. Proverbs 29:9 says arguing with fools brings grief. So I keep peace while your fury peaks. You say believers high, but I'm here in the light. You trust men, I trust the word that breathed men into life. Your theories change yearly, but his word stays right. Matthew 24:35 holds firm in every fight. You honor truth with lips, but your heart is gone. You call scripture old, but your morals shift at dawn. If you reject the word, I shake dust and move on. God said leave what he never said to hold on. I don't run, but I ain't no fool. I don't bow to the wise in their own eyes, that's the rule. I won't trade scripture for scholars changing tone every June. You trust men, I trust the one who breathed stars and shaped the womb. I don't run, but I ain't no fool. God sealed me with his spirit, Ephesians 1:13 stay true. You chase knowledge without wisdom and call it proof. But the fear of the Lord is the root of truth. Proverbs 1:7 proof. You chase knowledge like it saves, but your wisdom is thin. You treat scholars like shepherds while your soul caves in. Sit broken systems while rejecting the fountain within. Your logic is a prison and you lock the door tight. You ask where God is but hide from his light. You read Paul like a critic, not seeking life. You say faith is blind, but atheism is blind. Trust chance over the one who designed you. Claim wrong, change scripture, but don't read Greek. Dead Sea Scrolls confirm what believers speak. You feel surrender more than debate. Open-minded, but only to what you create. Matthew 18:3 repeats your state. Generation shift, but the word won't bend. Matthew 24:35 again. Jesus said his sheep know his voice to the end. John 10:27, the shepherd defends. Mock faith, but mockery never lands. True stands when the crowd disbands. 1 Corinthians 1:18 strengthens the remnant. Proverbs 23:9 says fools reject wisdom still. I shake dust. Matthew 10:14 fulfills. You trust men, but men collapse. Truth is a person. John 14:6 maps the path.
Talk your talk, mock your mock. His word stays solid while your theories rise. I don't run, but I ain't no fool. I fear God, and that is truth, that is wisdom, that is power and fruit.
I don't run, but I ain't no fool. But I ain't no fool.